Family Appreciation Day is another episode told from Apple Bloom's point of view. For those keeping score, that makes this the second episode of the season to star Apple Bloom, along with one episode for Sweetie Belle and still no episodes featuring Scootaloo in anything outside of a supporting role. And come on, you know she's overdue. However, the one thing that keeps Apple Bloom from dominating the story is that this is the first episode in the entire series to put a strong focus on Granny Smith of all characters. Well, considering that her entire role in the show so far has been sleeping, complaining, and generally acting like a stereotypical old person, letting her become an actual character with a more developed personality certainly feels welcome. And that personality is just a few hairs shy of Pinkie Pie level crazy. In the episode, we have two connected stories. First, we see the Apple family preparing for the Zap Apple harvest. Zap Apples are apples that have magical properties, and apparently rainbow is the default color for Magical MacGuffin of the Week, I guess. We also see Granny Smith getting ready to make Zap Apple jam. She starts yelling at jars, painting polka dots everywhere, and puts on a bunny suit to hop over buckets of water while singing the alphabet song. Why? Because it's magic. Granny Smith ain't gotta explain shit. At first, Apple Bloom is perfectly happy to go along with all of this and sees it as just a family tradition. Then along comes that insufferable bitch Diamond Tiara. Diamond Tiara is fucking worthless. I'm not kidding. Even compared to similar bully characters like Trixie. See, Trixie's a jerk and I don't like her, but I'll still defend her as being a worthwhile character. Her smug attitude is backed up by actual skill, and even when she gets in over her head, she still tries to save the day and be a hero even though she knows that she'll fail. Diamond Tiara is a spoiled rich brat whose only real talent is being a spoiled rich brat. We also meet her father, Filthy Rich. Turns out he's one of the Apple family's best customers, and despite raising a spoiled asshole of a daughter, he really doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. So, of course, since nothing else can justify her existence, Diamond Tiara picks on Apple Bloom and makes her feel embarrassed for Granny Smith's behavior. This leads to the second story, which is Family Appreciation Day. And when I first saw the title of the episode, I thought this was going to be a special annual event like the Sisterhood Social, but it's really just something the school teacher Miss Cheerilee made up for her class. Every week, one of the students has to bring in a family member for a presentation. This week, it's Apple Bloom's turn, and since everyone else is busy with the Zap Apples, she's stuck with Granny Smith. Granny Smith's been babbling like a mad woman all week though, so Apple Bloom uses every sitcom cliche she can think of to keep her away from the school. Granny makes it to the school anyway, but sobers up long enough to tell a story about how Ponyville was founded when she was younger. Hi. Guess what? You are a G-MILF. That is a grandmother that I would like to— Oh god! Oh god! Okay, so we're told that Granny Smith originally discovered the Zap Apples, and her Zap Apple jam is so freaking amazing that it helped the town succeed and grow into what we see today. In the end, this gets everyone excited about the Zap Apples. Apple Bloom shows that she loves her grandma. Filthy Rich forces his daughter into acts of public humiliation. See, I told you he wasn't a bad guy. And Scootaloo says the Zap Apple jam is the best thing she's ever tasted, though frankly she likes anything that's rainbow flavored. Now, overall, I thought this was a really good episode except for a couple of issues. The first is Granny Smith. Now, I do like the fact that she finally got some character development, but a lot of her behavior at the beginning of the episode has no context until she tells her story at the end. And I understand that was kind of the point, and having that big reveal at the end was really effective, but some of that behavior is just so random and out there when you don't know what's happening. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but when it looks like you're about to die from breathing too hard and you can't form a coherent thought when you speak, yeah, that kind of freaks me out a bit. And as much as I hate to admit it, Diamond Tiara kinda has a point when she talks about how strange it looks. Oh, don't misunderstand me, she's still completely useless. There's no reason for Diamond Tiara to point out how weird Granny Smith is acting when it's clearly visible that she's disturbing everyone around her when she goes into town. I'm just saying that in this particular instance, she is technically right. I also think they spend a little too much time on Apple Bloom scheming to keep Granny Smith away from the school. There's one scene in particular that got a little uncomfortable and unsettling as it went on. Instead, I would have liked it if they'd spent more time showing Apple Bloom interacting with the rest of her family, especially Big Macintosh, since at this point in the series, he actually has less of a defined personality than Granny Smith did before. This could have been a perfect opportunity for him to do anything. On a final note, though, I'd like to talk about Granny Smith's story. Immediately after watching the episode, I saw comments that said the story contradicts some of the history shown in previous episodes, but I don't think that's necessarily true. The general rule of storytelling on television, especially with kids shows, is that unless we're told otherwise, we have to accept what we see as the truth. And in this case, We have been told otherwise. See, the issue that many people have here is that Granny Smith says she was there when Ponyville was founded, but in Winter Wrap-Up, Twilight says that Ponyville's been around for hundreds of years. The show's creator also confirmed that the ponies age at a normal rate, with the exception of Celestia and Luna, so it's unlikely that Granny Smith is hundreds of years old. Now, with all of that in mind, ask yourself, what do we know about these characters, and who do you think would know more about history? Now, most likely, I think the events in the story are real, but they probably happened to a completely different character, and Granny Smith's memory is playing tricks on her. In the end, I would rate Family Appreciation Day a 7 out of 10. We get some new history of the show's universe, even if certain details are exaggerated by the mind of a crazy old lady. There are some great family moments, and we get some pretty decent new characters. I still think there was some wasted opportunity with the rest of the Apple family, but the real reason this doesn't score higher is because of Granny Smith making less sense than Jar Jar Binks on a bad day and occasionally making me want to crap my pants in terror.